The balance between education and sports. And we're saying sports because this has been something we've seen across many sports with players we work with, players we've met with that we don't work with, families we've spoken to at rinks, coaches, and anybody else you can think of that I haven't mentioned. We are seeing the trend where more and more kids are taking school lightly, taking their sports too seriously. And what I mean by that is everything is life or death. I was a competitive kid. I didn't like to lose. I was a huge sore loser, still am. I don't like losing, nobody does. But it's to the point now where you lose a game, you're having a tantrum. You're having a tantrum on the ice, on the soccer field, basketball court. Parents are having a tantrum in the stands, and it's just a disaster. And everybody sees it at all levels, and it's a reputation that follows you. We've seen it firsthand when we go to rinks and see some kids play. When we're talking to families, the responses we're getting. I'll never forget, I had a conversation with a family where parents stated that as long as he was the top goal scorer on the team, they did not care about his grades. Their goal was major juniors and not college, obviously, but they made that statement, and I stayed shocked. And I tried to understand it in the sense that, you know, maybe there was some issues at school, that he struggled as a student, and that makes sense. That's fine. We all have issues, but that wasn't the case. It was sports mattered more than school. And being somebody who I did well in school, but I didn't like school. It wasn't something that I enjoyed. I wasn't trying to get a medical degree. Obviously, I used school to play hockey a long time. My education helped me get few more years of hockey. But to think that in high school, it didn't matter. And we're talking about high school. We're not talking about getting a PhD, a master's. We're talking about high school. Something that everybody should have. That is, depending who you are, depending on multiple factors, could be something relatively easy to get or reasonable to get. I remember the conversation because they were saying how he practiced before school, went to school, they picked him up at school to go to another practice, and then he had his team practice at night. And I remember asking, saying, what about rest? What about, taking an hour to be a teenager? I didn't say take a day or a weekend or a week. Take an hour. Just sit at home and watch a movie. And we're all for putting in the work. But 3 practices a day, every day, that's a lot for anybody. And I know kids are balls of energy and they can go for hours and hours and days. You gotta rest. That's when you start to get hurt. And I asked about homework and they said, yeah, well, we told teachers he's not doing homework. They can give it as much as they want. He's not doing it. Not doing homework. Studying for tests. If he gets a chance in a car ride, he'll open the book and study it. Opens the book on a car ride. Like, this conversation opened my eyes to a lot. And that's where we started talking to more families, more of a, not research standpoint, but curiosity standpoint in different sports. And this was a trend that I saw more and more of sports come before school. And don't get me wrong, you have goals, you have dreams, that's fine, chase them. You gotta, there's gotta be a balance. While he's missing a day for school for tournaments, we all love road trip tournaments where you get to miss Thursday, Friday. That's the best feeling in the world. You give that note to the teacher, you get to laugh at everybody and say, I'm not coming to school, I get to go play hockey. But putting a full priority, full term, like full-time priority on sports before school, I don't know if that sends the right message, especially knowing that more and more college hockey is a very dominant aspect to get to the pros. College hockey, education hockey. The balance between sports and school needs to be there. Focus on your studies. Your homework is done, your studying is done. Go do 3-4 hours of practice. That's fine. Go do an hour of practice. Maybe not 3. That's a lot. You still got to get good grades. And good doesn't mean I'm a straight A student. Good means, I struggled in history. For some reason, I couldn't memorize dates. I couldn't memorize when things were happening in order. Never stuck with me. I got A's. Everything else in history, I'd study 10 hours for a test and I'd get a C. But that meant me putting in the work. I still put in the work to do good in history. That meant I did my homework. That meant I did my projects. I was never late on due dates. There has to be that balance. And it's the same thing on the school side. I think school lacks the understanding that you don't need 3, 4, 5 hours of homework every night, right? Kids have activities. They're on team sports where they build valuable skills for life, meet great people, friendships, memories, experiences, things that they can take in their everyday life. And there needs to be that balance. Hockey or basketball or soccer or any of your sports can't trump all your other responsibilities because you're forgetting to be responsible and not learning those valuable skills. And same on the school side, it can't be overwhelming where you can't do anything else. You can't have those moments. And that's where there's a big miscommunication and gap between the two nowadays based on the conversations we've had, the people we've met, and what we've seen. There has to be a good split. Maybe not 50-50, but it's 60-40 now and 60-40 in a month the other way, where it comes out close to equal throughout the year so that everybody's a winner and where everybody gets to have those skills, those moments, those experience, the knowledge, the tools, anything you need to grow up, mature, and become a better hockey player, a better individual, succeed on the ice, off the ice. That doesn't mean in the gym, that means as a professional as you grow up, right? Because once you get to juniors, you're selling yourself to colleges. Once you get to college, you're selling yourself to the pros. They're not just taking a hockey player, they're taking a whole individual at all levels. Who you are on the ice and off the ice, big part of getting recruited. So the balance between education and sports is something that is not communicated enough and is not taken seriously in many sports, in many areas, Canada, US. We've seen this everywhere. And that's why we're talking about it in today's video, because it's a conversation to have as a family, with your kids, with the teachers, when things are going on, with the coaches. It's something that everyone should be aware of and everybody needs to get involved with to ensure that we all go down the right path. We all get the best of both worlds. Because for a kid, I think they're able to get that. I think provided the right resources, the right strategy, roadmap, whatever you want to call it, there's a way to make kids, players, young teenagers succeed in both sides of the coin, both the hockey side and the education side. And again, succeed does not mean be a straight A or be the top player. Being consistent, working hard, working for your results. And there's a way for them to get both of those without compromising one or the other. That's a conversation that needs to be had, and we have had conversations with coaches at the U18 AAA level in the US, with some junior teams, both Canada and US, where coaches understand that and they work towards achieving that. And it's something that needs to trickle down to the lower levels, the 15s, the 14s, even the peewees. This should be at all competitive levels. Education and sports go hand in hand when developing a young adult, when chasing a goal, and neither of them should be neglected. And that's the point of this video. For your kids to understand that both need to go together, for coaches who are watching this to understand that both need to go together, for teachers who watch this or that we speak with or the families speak with, both matter in different ways. Both should be treated as important for these young individuals. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, concerns, anything about this education, hockey part, your kids' hockey journey, don't forget to reach out to us. We're always here to help.